Thank you. 2:30, it's November the 10th, 2022, and we'll start the Stellarton Police Commission meeting. Approve the agenda. Is there any, excuse me, is there any additions? Okay, can I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Moved by Commissioner Kevin Mason, seconded by Commissioner Susan Campbell. Y'all heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval, has everybody had a chance, opportunity to read the minutes? Go over the minutes.
I'll move the minutes.
Is there any errors or omissions?
Didn't see any.
Do you have a motion to approve?
I so moved.
Moved by Commissioner Danny McGilvery,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Kevin Campbell. You've all heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Business arising. Is there any business arising? Susan, you brought some up last, you weren't here, you couldn't make the meeting, but there was something you brought up last meeting, or we had to table it?
Yes, that's number 7 on the agenda.
Oh, right, sorry. Okay, is there anything else? All right, there's no new business. We'll move on to the monthly activity report. You're on, Chief.
Okay, just nothing of really serious note of, I shouldn't say that. Nothing of, I guess a real serious note of the monthly activity report. Again, another busy month, 267 calls of service. You can see there was a few checkpoints done over the month involving neighboring agencies, RCMP, New Glasgow and Westville participated in a couple of them. Some traffic done. You can see there's some tickets issued. Other than that, had a few notable events. Just wanted to mention, Constable Sampson, who's here with us today, actually attended the law enforcement torch run truck convoy, which was in HRM. That's in support of the Special Olympics. That is where all the agencies around the province supplied a vehicle and/or personnel to assist with blocking traffic to allow the convoy to go through and honk their horns and drive their big trucks through HRM in support of the Special Olympics. So that was on October the 15th. Myself, I attended the 40th annual Nova Scotia Fallen Police Officers Memorial Service in Halifax. That was very well attended, and it was actually a gorgeous day for that too, by the way. And also Sergeant Venus spoke to the Achieve class at the NSCC about policing in the community, as well as other topics that came up during that day. Halloween also obviously fell last month. I didn't have it as a notable event because it was, for us, it was good because it was not a notable event. Everything went great. That's a good thing, yeah. Everything went very well. So that's kind of a brief summary of the monthly activity report.
Thank you. Is there any questions on the activity report?
I just comment that under other activities, I think that's a pretty good breakdown of hours for foot and bike patrol and traffic enforcement, community relations. I think that's a good ratio you have there, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, they are making the effort, and as busy it can be at times, they're realizing the importance of getting out into the community, so that is being done.
I notice quite often they pass the police car when I'm out and around. It's open patrol, which is good. It's in very high visibility, which is what we want.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions, the Chief? No other questions? Could I have a motion to accept the monthly activity report?
So moved.
And I'll second it.
Moved by Commissioner Susan Campbell, second by Commissioner Kevin Mason. You all heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Chief's recognition of community involvement.
Sure. As I mentioned, Constable Sampson's here with us today, and wanted to take this opportunity to recognize Chris for his involvement in the community, and I'll give you a couple of specifics over the last several months. During the summertime, Chris purchased out of his own pocket some certificates for children in the community for ice creams down at the ice cream place down on Bridge, and was passing them out as he was on patrol. And actually, he gave a few to me during homecoming that I was able to give out during the parade on Friday night. So, Oh, I ate some of the ice cream, but I mean, I gave some of them out. No, I gave some of them out, and I can tell you, one in particular was a person that we've had some conflict with as police, who was there with his 2 children, and when I gave him the coupons for the ice cream, he was most appreciative and very polite to us. So, does it make a difference in the end? I believe it does, and that was one of the things I wanted to recognize Chris for. And the second was on Halloween. Chris brought in a very large bag of candy, and we drove around on Halloween, and he got out and engaged the community and a lot of the children and passed out candy basically from the police cruiser, and that went over very well
It's not his first year doing it.
from everybody that we
I think he
spoke to.
does it every year, doesn't he?
And it was just a coincidence we happened to stop in front of your house and see you, Ryan. It really was. There was just a large group right there, and he said, pull over, and we just happened to be right there. So anyhow, those are just 2 of the things I'd like to mention. So in recognition of that, I'd like to present Constable Sampson with the certificate of recognition from the Stellarton Police. Proudly presents a certificate of recognition and appreciation of extraordinary service to the town of Stellarton. So, Chris.
I would have definitely not.
Did you wash your hands? Close enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just would like to add to that Chris represents the community policing that we're really trying to promote within the organization, and I think it rubs off on the other officers when they see his commitment to engaging with the community that way.
I'm big on community policing. I think it's the best way to go. And usually if we got complaints about the police, Danny and I sell for Susan. We'll be the first ones to hear. And I don't hear anything. I don't hear anybody complaining. Everybody seems to be content with the policing, and that's a good thing. Thank you very much, Chris, for taking time to.
Yeah, and the thing with policing too is there's always going to be people unhappy with us. Always. It's just
No.
it's part of the job. But when we can actually engage community and have people say, well, geez, I've never seen a police officer do that, and it's just it's really nice to see you guys out doing this, or on the bike, or handing out candy or ice cream or whatever. It's just that kind of makes the negative stuff balance out or worthwhile, if you know what I'm saying.
Over the last number of years, I got a lot of positive comments back from the general public, and I can think of quite a few, and it's good. You're right. It's
Yeah.
proactive.
And the best part about it is, and I can speak for Chris when I say this, is he's doing it not for the photo op, and I'm a big proponent of that. Yeah, well, no, I don't mean this photo op. I mean out in the community, like giving out something to the children. I've seen it, and I've seen it staged where, oh, look at them, they're playing hockey with the kids. Look at all the pictures we have. Suddenly we have 50 pictures of them all over the website, and that's not what this is about, and that's why I felt it is important to recognize that.
I know whenever we talk about a camera with any of our officers, they run and hide. They don't want to get the picture taken. I don't know, maybe there's another reason.
Yeah.
So you can tell it's very authentic on Chris's part to do this, and we really appreciate it part of the time, so thank you.
Thank you.
So before you go on to the next one, Chris, if you'd like to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're welcome to. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
I wonder if it's because he was born in Cape Breton, it has anything to do with it.
I don't know, but he's shy, and I know.
I know.
I had to trick him into coming. I had told him it was for something else, but
No, I know he does a lot of, since the day he started with this, he's always been very pro with the kids, and I believe there was an incident with a young fella that Chris intervened, and he had challenges, this young fella, and I got compliments from the parents on how he handled the situation and talked everything down, which was excellent.
yeah.
Nice to hear that. Correspondence.
Okay, so Susan, if you wanted to speak to it, yeah.
Chief Hobeck sent myself and the mayor a letter, and I can certainly skim over it if you wish. It's thanking us for attending the Nova Scotia Chiefs of Police recent meeting in Truro. I know the chair, it was for the chairs of the commission. I know you were otherwise engaged. You had an appointment you couldn't attend, so the mayor attended in your place, and myself and the chiefs of police for municipal for municipalities in Nova Scotia. And the interesting thing about this situation is it was the first time ever, which was kind of hard to believe, it was the first time ever that the CAOs and the board commission chairs and/or mayors and the police chiefs were in one room. So, it was a very, I was there, and it was a really good meeting. There was a lot of information that was passed on, and I learned a lot that day, and it was really good. So this letter is from the chief thanking us for attending, and it says they're sending this written summary in relation of information as background. So they talked about the additional officer program, which was mentioned at the last meeting regarding, I guess, the province is looking at maybe some different options on what they can do with that funding. So after a recent evaluation of the AOP, the Department of Justice is proposing significant changes that they're looking to explore, which is, of course, a very big concern for the municipalities who have municipal forces, because it's a big part of their budget. So the recommended way forward is a distinct change in the mandate, structure, funding, and purpose of the AOP, and will cause a significant gap in the service industry. So it is a very big concern for the program. So they also talked about the provincial police service agreement / service exchange agreements with the PPSA. So based on the past practice and sentiment from previous governments, all municipalities in Nova Scotia pay for and are entitled to the specialized services noted in the PPSA at no additional costs, recognizing that service exchange agreements will dictate future terms. It is unclear whether the RCMP can even provide specialized services due to capacity issues. So this is another concern that they are looking to. So they recognize that the current policing model in Nova Scotia is not sustainable, particularly given the current structure of policing agencies, funding models through the province, and ongoing discussions regarding service exchange. We are open to exploring alternate policing models for Nova Scotia with the aim of enhancing public safety and better serving all Nova Scotians. As you know, we're adequately resourced, highly trained, well-equipped, and well-positioned to explore our alternate models. So some of the things that they have been recommending: more regional municipal police services. We support the exploration of more regional municipal police services in Nova Scotia, which would allow us to expand to more rural communities. This could mean the consolidation of current agencies and/or the expansion of single agencies. We would share resources and communities of interest based on local needs without sacrificing local accountability. This is in alignment with the current municipal policing approach and would not require dramatic transformational change. Also, specialized services serving communities through geographic hubs. In the interim, we would support an assessment of specialized services in the province and a related funding stream to ensure the allocation and accessibility to specialized services on a geographical basis. For example, having a localized emergency response team and canine for geographic hubs available to all police agencies, including the RCMP. All 10 chiefs of police in the association support this approach. In fact, we have never been more united. So what they're requesting from the municipalities, number one, formally reach out to your member of parliament to advise them of the withdrawal of federal policing resources who address mid-level organized crime in Nova Scotia, and request that they reconsider this decision given its public safety implications. A sample letter is attached. Number two, formally reach out to the Provincial Minister of Justice and ask them to reconsider their decision to reallocate additional officer program for resources, and also respectfully request that the 4 options be shared with affected stakeholders. Respectfully request that affected stakeholders are consulted on future decisions. Request that the Department of Justice explore the possibility of more regional municipal policing services and specialized services serving communities, and create a municipal liaison within the Department of Justice so that municipal police agencies have a voice on issues facing municipalities such as mental health, addictions, and homelessness. So share the issues related to AOP, PPSA, and service exchange agreements with your municipal elected officials and board members. As stated in our meeting, we want to leave you with the bottom line: all of the proposed changes to service delivery by the Provincial Department of Justice are a municipal concern, in that it will either decrease policing service to our communities or increase municipal costs to maintain current policing service levels. Further, it's counter to what the public expects and deserves: officers in their communities getting to know citizens and adapting to changing public safety needs. So that's from Chief Hobeck to myself and the mayor.
First, I want to thank the mayor for taking, filling in for me. I couldn't make it. This year has been a hell of a year for tests and everything else. I shouldn't complain, I guess, but everything seems to come at once. I'll be incapacitated again for, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks as a mid-knee operation. So I was just over today and through the pre-op clinic and that. So unfortunately, you can't, that's why I'm wearing a mask. I don't want to get contact COVID and throw everything off. I was supposed to go to January, but it stepped it up in November. So thank you very much. Is there any questions? Anybody want to ask any questions on that letter? Or?
Can I just, sir, can I just add a quick update to this
Sure, yeah.
request? Since we sent this out, we've had another meeting with Department of Justice, and they have shared with us all four options for the additional officer program. So everything's still up in the air. That was our last meetings at the PEC meeting in Dartmouth a couple weeks ago. They have shared that with us, and everything's still up in the air as to where they're going to go with the AOP program. And if they're still leaning towards a separate entity like creating a new agency to run this mid-level, whatever it's going to look like out of, that's minimum of 4 or 5 years down the road before they could even get something like that up and running, minimum. So that's just a quick update to it. Sorry.
In my personal opinion, I wouldn't want to see it go to regional. When I talk about regional, I'm talking about Colchester,
Northeast
Cumberland, and all that, because that's what we have now in a lot of our different, the health and that, and it's not working. The ground crew we have here, the special group we have here, street crimes, major street crimes, are doing a wonderful job. And working with our police force, of course, are doing a wonderful job as well. So I wouldn't want to see that lost. Hopefully I don't want to see it lost, because then it's watered down and it's controlled. And the only thing else is, you brought up about, and this seems to be a point they keep bringing up, is about a dog program. You know, and my question to the chief was, how many times have we utilize a canine? Twice. You know, what's the cost? I mean, I don't know what the cost of purchasing a dog and having a trainer, but I mean, that's something that could be shared amongst, if it was something we could look at anyway. But anyway, it's just my thoughts. Anybody else want to?
I just wanted to mention that I'm glad to hear those options were shared. That was a big gripe at that meeting, was they weren't shared. So I'm glad that they were transparent and provided them to us. I don't see anything on this list that we can't do, like letters to the MP and the MLA and stuff. We should be able to do all that, I think. So
You want to draft the letter up?
I think we should do
You want
it.
to make a motion on that?
Yep.
Okay, somebody want to second the motion?
Sure, I'll second it.
So, in reference to drafting the letter up,
It'd be to the MP to advise them of as per the three.
It's a sample letter in
There
there.
is a sample letter
exactly.
attached.
Yeah.
okay. So you okay, so you making a motion?
Yes.
Okay, and Kevin, you're okay with, okay. Okay, you've all heard the motion, put forward by Commissioner Mayor Daniel McGilvery, seconded by Commissioner Kevin Mason. You all heard the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Got your mind it, motion carried, okay, that's good, we'll send that forward.
So just one question for the chief there. Are we keeping any stats on support that we're receiving from any specialized service, not just the RCMP, but like Glasgow or Truro? Do we have any stats at all, or are we tracking anytime the canine ident major crime
Yes.
comes into Stellarton?
Yeah, the RCMP tracks,
The RCMP is
they're
tracking.
tracking that, they're,
But are we tracking any support, but not like from the Glasgow or Truro?
Yes.
Are we tracking that in some stat?
yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, at this point, it's been very minimal.
Yeah.
Have we used Tro's dog? Once. We've used Tro's canine once. Nothing from the Glasgow. Really.
They don't have any, well.
They don't have anything we can't do, honestly. They have major crime, but.
They have Glasgow's ident, do they? Or no, that's come from Bible Hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what will happen now is with FIS or the IDENT services, for what the RCMP are considering, and this isn't criticism, but what they're considering to be a minor crime. For example, if your car is stolen and we recover it and it's at the tow yard and we want to get fingerprints taken, well, that's a minor crime. So what they won't send their FIS member out to do that anymore. We have somebody trained as a property crime examiner that can take prints, and that's Nancy Cave is actually ours. So we would utilize Nancy to do those prints. And just to mention that, she did recently take some prints off a stolen vehicle that they were able to determine a suspect from those prints that she took. So I should have added, now that it's in my head, I should have added it to this as a correspondence, but we got a letter from FIS basically congratulating her on some good work getting the fingerprints. So we're using our PCE for that, our property crime examiner. Now, if she's unavailable, Westville has one. New Glasgow's got 3 or 4, but we've never utilized theirs. They've asked for ours before, on occasion, because theirs are busy. So that's a resource we're sharing amongst the three agencies, the property crime examiner. Other than that, FIS has to come from RCMP, and the dog would either be RCMP first call, and our second call would be Truro. We've kind of entered into a verbal agreement with them to share the dog. So those are really the services.
DREs were shared.
Yeah, drug recognition experts we share in the county as well. Chris Irving's our drug recognition expert. So if they don't, and I know the RCMP have used Chris 5 or 6 times as a drug recognition expert. So there is sharing. In spite of what you may see in the news, it's not quite the way they portray it. There is a lot of sharing going on now.
I received a call from one of the reporters in CBC, although I wasn't quoted, but some of the question they asked me was, did I think our police department was capable of handling? And I told them definitely. You know, I thought our force can handle anything that came its way. Is there any other questions? Good. Okay, we're going to move on. Parking in the corner in Pleasant Maple. That was something I brought up. And you know the area I'm talking about. If you come down, if you're traveling south on Pleasant and you make a right turn, there's a huge truck there, and there's 2 or 3 cars behind it, and you're almost forced over in the left-hand lane. You're blind. It's kind of dangerous. We did have the issue a number of years ago. Was on Pleasant Street, and it was just one truck parking there, and it was creating a problem with stop sign. Would it be possible to put no parking signs there?
Yeah, we looked at that, and Councillor, that's the one we discussed that the other day. Yes, we sent whoever was day shift down right after I spoke with you, went down to the corner. I don't remember what the result was, if they wrote any tickets or not, but we looked at too close to the corner. But yes, you can go from the corner of Pleasant up to maybe 100 yards up Maple. We could put a no parking there. My concern would be if they're going to park. If they can't park there, where are they going to park now? Like, you got to park somewhere. So we just have to try to figure out how to either the whole way up no parking, or just going to try to get my head around. But the short answer to that is yes.
Okay,
There can be no
I'll
parking.
leave it with you on whatever your discretion is, but see what we can do there. But to me, I just think it's a danger for anybody trying to, especially now with the winter coming. I know what they're going to do in the winter. You're not allowed to park in the street anyway, so.
No, and there's a school nearby, and there's, as we discussed the other day, there's children, one that maybe even visually impaired to a degree, that have to go out and around the vehicles to try to get across. It's not, okay, it is a hazard, yes.
Okay, thank you. No, that's the one that I proposed. You had a different one, didn't you, Susan? Was it the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
I
the
thought it was
same.
a different area. Okay. Yeah, I know I sent Chief off a letter the other day because I thought there was an issue there. Okay, I didn't realize it was the same one. All right. Meeting dates. Sorry?
December 1st?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just very minor thought in regards to meeting dates. I know a number of months ago we had all suggested the first Thursday of the month. I'm fine with that. It's just, it seems to be changing. And although my schedule is set a number of months in advance sometimes, and I feel bad that I can't make it with the new date. So that the first Thursday doesn't seem to be working all the time. And I'm just wondering, should we change it to another date? Or can we start sticking with the first Thursday It's just what's everybody's feeling. I just feel bad that I'm missing some meetings. I was available.
So typically,
no
you're
longer
correct,
available.
they are scheduled for the first Thursday. So what happened, typically in the fall, that's when a lot of conferences take place. So September was a vacation issue, October it was a Chiefs conference, and then November was the NSFM. So typically, and those were noted on the previous agenda, but you're correct, it is typically the first Thursday.
So you don't have to be here for the meeting. According to regulations, Margaret, or someone you can designate can fill in for your place if you can't be here. As long as we have 3/4 of the commission, we can go ahead with the meeting.
I think 50% plus one.
Sorry?
50% plus
Okay,
one is
50%. Okay.
I
So,
think it's best if the CEO's here for the meeting.
well, according to the regulations, she doesn't have to be here. According to the rules, she doesn't have to be. Sorry?
I was away that week as well.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, that's how the rule reads out, so, you know. Cancel meetings isn't that a good thing? Because there's not only Kevin, but there's other people who arrange the time around it, you know. If we're going to cancel, we should cancel in advance. Were they canceled in advance? Were they canceled at the commission meeting?
They were noted on the previous agenda of what the next date was
Okay,
going to
so
be.
they were canceled at the commission meeting.
It was noted on the previous agenda when the next meeting date would be, and they held to
Okay,
that.
so they were changed at that commission meeting?
Correct.
That's what I want.
So if the first Thursday is not working, I mean, I don't mind the second Thursday or third or fourth. Is there any thought with moving
From my
off the
perspective,
first
the
Thursday?
first was always working. It's just, as Susan said, there was a couple of things that came up in the fall. And I always block off, I never book anything myself. I even try to avoid vacations if I can. Or my birthday, I canceled my birthday last year because it was yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, it's, other than the Chiefs conference, I have no say in that. They book that long in advance, and it happens, so.
To be honest, no matter when we do it, there's probably going to be conflicts throughout the year when
Yeah,
some
for
of us
somebody.
aren't going to be able to make it. so.
Always, yeah. So, short answer from my perspective, Kevin, we stick with what we have, and if something comes up, as long as we notify everybody in plenty of time,
It should be
if
notified.
if we have to change, then we,
Yeah, they should be notified at the meeting, but they were notified.
If we- yeah.
Previous meeting, that's all.
Yeah.
Maybe the other thing is a lot of us got a lot going on, we might have to remind everybody when we do cancel or something, maybe I'll just send a letter out or an email out, letting everybody know, remind them it's been moved. All right. Next meeting is in December 1st, 2022. Is there anything else anybody would like to bring up? All right, I'll call for an adjournment. Any motion on that?
So moved.